If you click on my name below this video, it will take you to the channel page, and under About there's all the links to these books. This is a way you can help fund this channel. Cheers for now. Now then, back in the workshop, and this is probably part 3 of battery chargers. A mate of mine said, "Do you want this?" I went, "Yeah, okay." There's a wire off. That's the standard sort of reason for things not working. There's a wire off. So I thought, yeah, and we'll investigate. It's a bit rusty on the top. It's had a lot of condensation on it, but it's been sat in the workshop for maybe 3 months, nice and dry, so we can take it apart and see what we see. Right, so let's just crack on. So we've got the battery here, and we're on 20 volts DC, and it's showing 12.85, so that's pretty good. And you'll notice, well, hopefully, just down here on that battery there's a repair there. I'll do a video about repairing battery cases, and that has been sat for 2 months, and look, not a damp patch in sight, and that was quite a big split. So perhaps we'll do a video about repairing battery cases. You know, if they get knocked against something, or they've been vibrating against an edge and they get a hole in the case and start to lose electrolyte, then you've got to be on it straight away, or else that particular cell will start to cook. And there's a way of fixing those. It's quite easy with hot glue, but there's a couple of techniques. Anyway, so we've got a battery that's alright. What's this flashing going on? This is a different camera, I'm just trying to work out what's going on. I think that's battery. Just give me a second. Okay, I've sorted that out. Put the power supply on. Now then, so I think the next thing to do is look at the obvious. Let's see if there's a fuse in the mains plug, because you never know. I'm just getting used to this second-hand camera. The zoom is very fast. Right. Okay. There's no earth on this. Interesting. Let's get rid of the spiders. Put this on continuity and switch it on. Yeah, the fuse is alright. I'm just going to take it out and put it back in, just to make sure those connections are cleaned up. Then we'll just put the cap back on. Right, number 1. That's that. The second thing that can be a problem is precisely there. Yeah, because these are rusty. Now, were these rusty because it's been left for a long time, or these rusty and they tried to charge a battery and wasn't getting a connection? So I'm just going to wire brush these up on the rotary wire brush. So I'll come back to you in a second, or maybe even a minute. Okay, these are nicely wire brushed up, and they're wire brushed inside the jaws. So let's put those on that battery and plug it in and see what happens. We're on 12 volts, we're on fast charge. Well, something's happening. It's gone to, on normal it's nothing, on fast it is, oh, where are we, about 1.5 and going down rapidly. I wonder, let's just, the next thing to do would be to just put the meter across those and see if we got a steady volt or a fluctuating volt. Okay, that's the positive, that's the negative. Well, it's fairly steady, isn't it? I think we'll have the top off and just check the rectifier. I think if it was AC getting through, there'd be more of a variation, but it's worth checking it. Okay, let's have the screws out. Dinky little things. Okay, let's try and put the charger in the same place so we're still in shot. Are there any more screws? No screws on the back. Let's lower it down. Okay. So, let's investigate. Okay. There's a rectifier with a heatsink on it. At least I assume that's the rectifier. Yeah. There's the... Ha! Can you see this? Let me just zoom in. Do you know, I was a little bit derisory about there's a wire off. There's a wire off. It must have been dropped, and that's really quite solid, that. That winding there. So I'm just going to get the airline and blow all those cobwebs out, and I'll get back to you in a moment. So I've blown that out, and I've got some electrical cleaner here. So I'm just going to clean that up. I think that one's just, I think that may have got warm. So we just need to pinch that together a little bit. Just a tad. Right. Okay. So, let's give it a road test, shall we? I'm trying to see where the diodes are in here. Ah, the diodes are in there. They are discrete diodes. So what shall we do? Will that come off? That will. Will that come off? That will. Let's just test that rectifier, shall we? So meter's on and we've got continuity. Yeah. So that down there, I think we're going to have to zoom in a bit somehow. And you'll just have to work with the... No, we'll need to see the meter as well. Okay, out a bit. So they are the AC in, and that is the DC negative out, and down there is the DC positive out. So between there and there we've got nothing, and the other way around we've got something. Okay, between there and there got nothing, and the other way around we've got something. So that side's working all right. Then there, AC into DC out, nothing. Yep. AC out to DC, AC into DC out, nothing. Other way around. Yeah, good. So the rectifier seems to be all right. So I can plug these AC ins back on. Yeah, and then we can test it. Hopefully you caught all that lot. I know the meter was only just in shot, but you could see it changing. So let's rearrange things and we'll give it another road test. Now we've connected that loose wire, which is not normally the case. You don't normally get a wire off, but because these are so stiff, all it takes is that moving. Anyway, just let me set everything up again. Okay, it all seems a bit confusing. Right, we've got it plugged in, negative. We've got a different battery here with slightly less volts. There. Okay, we're on 3.5 amps, so it seems to work. But one of the problems we're getting nowadays with battery chargers is, in the UK we used to get 240 volts. Now we're getting 230 or even 225, and of course that proportionally affects the output of battery chargers, because it changes the ratio effectively. Maybe that's one of the reasons why we're not getting so much output from this battery charger. Apart from that, we've checked the rectifier, it seems to be fine. I think it's down to the design of the transformer. Okay, following on from that theory, hopefully that will zoom in and focus. If you see, it says the primary there is 240 volts. I'll just move the... oh, it's alright, I can see it now. That's 240 volts. So I know our mains is varies enormously now. Now that there's a lot of solar on the system, on sunny days the mains can go up to something like 244, something like that. But on dull days it can be less than 230. So to that end, let's have another experiment. And over there, that is an auto transformer that steps the voltage up very slightly. Something I made years ago. And basically it's a transformer that has got one winding with various tappings out of it. So as I say, it's an auto transformer, so it's non-isolatory. It won't isolate you from the mains. So let's just have a brief look at what we've got to start with. Okay, just there, which is why I switched the mains off, we got a plug with the top removed. So I'm just going to switch the mains on and we'll just measure the voltage. Contact. Right, so this is mains voltage. We're on AC 700 and the red one is back there. So let's just go across live and neutral. 231, not 240. Okay, so we're plugged in. Let's put the negative on that battery and the positive on that battery there. There was a brief spark. And it's showing about 1 amp. Okay. So now I'm going to wire in that auto transformer. So just give me a second. So here's another extension lead. Okay, so the auto transformer, this extension lead gets plugged into the auto transformer, and then the auto transformer gets plugged into there. So let's just, before I plug it in, let's have a look at the amp meter and see what happens. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so sort of proof of concept there. I haven't got used to this zoom yet. And there's the meter again. Measure the AC. We're on 250. Okay. So there you go. The battery charger works, but actually it's only good for trickle charging at the current mains voltage. Interesting. Not much you can do about it unless you've got one of these, and then in summer when the mains voltage is high, then it will be a problem. You know, you'll be overcharging your batteries, and as we know, trickle charging batteries at a slow rate or a low rate is a lot better for them. Yeah, they will charge up properly, and all the plates will clean up properly, rather than giving them a really good kicking with a high current. Will just make the voltage go up without actually charging each individual plate and making sure that the chemical reactions are fully completed. Hopefully this has been of some use, and I will catch up with you again soon. Cheers for now. And we've improved our lighting a bit. I've got this bunch of fluorescents with reflectors on them, and up there a mate of mine gave me that theatre light, but we're running it through another variac because it was too bright. The barn doors on it help, just to cut out where we don't want to illuminate. And this stand here I got out of the scrapyard, and that's a cymbal stand, but it's really heavy duty, and that's perfect for that job. Absolutely perfect.